Rowan, talk us through. I mean, they're a fantastic team, aren't they? How would you sort of assess everything that went on tonight?
Yeah, they were tremendous. They're here to play and here to, attack the World Cup. And very quick, very well prepared, extremely athletic group, I reckon, for any representative team. Very, very athletic, and more athletes to come into that group that just landed today. So, you'd think they'll be a real threat to the World Cup.
How difficult has this week been for you to prep for? Because obviously there's been a few squad changes. The fellas had a week off after the grand final, went to white leave. It must have been difficult to get them ready to play a team as good as that. Yeah,
I think for any Super League team to be playing this time of year against a team like that would be a struggle. We had a bunch of players unavailable, for the grand final that still aren't ready to play. In the end, if you're a rugby league fan, you've come and enjoyed that, I think, because you turn your attention to some of the best players that have played in the last 10, 15 years are playing in that game today. Obviously a big challenge. Players individually, I thought there was a lot of effort. Collectively and connectedness wasn't there, as you'd expect with a disrupted prep. It was always about more than the result tonight, as you said. Getting to feast on some of the talent out there and everything, but also the fact that you could send some people off in their team as well. From an event sort of thing, are you satisfied with how everything played out? Yeah, it was an event. That was the whole purpose. I'd imagine for the Kiwis to get a hit out before the World Cup started, and for us to farewell some long-serving players and just enjoy a night of rugby league as best possible without the result being the result was never the key to tonight. Is Blake Austin all right? He got a good poke in the eye, and he's got some blurred vision in his eye, and it didn't come back. So there was no chance we were going to ask him to play with that tonight. Luke Cooley obviously made his debut, quite a way to make your debut, and you didn't really get to see him on the ball so much. But how do you, from what you saw, the little bits? Yeah, I thought it was good for him. He got out there, and there's no bigger test than playing against those fellas. So I think it sets him up well for a big pre-season and to ready himself for Super League. There's nothing like a game against the best players in the world. Yeah, just finally for me, what happens now? Is it time away or? Yeah, the players are on a break now. A lot of our younger players that are joining our squad from the academy and that have been recruited, they haven't played much in the last little while, so they'll start sort of mid-November. And then it's a rolling start based on experience and how much break players need. So we won't be all together until probably Christmas or just after, by the time some of the blokes have finished the World Cup and had their suitable rest. Do you have a first team that's coming back at this stage? Or? Yeah, there's a rolling start. Some guys will be back on the 14th of November, 21st, 28th, depending on how much guys played and how experienced and seasoned players are.
Thank you. What are your emotions, Rowan, at the end of what's been a pretty epic 6 months or so?
Yeah, probably hasn't really sunk in yet. I'm looking forward to getting some planning and some admin done this week, and then the week after having a bit of a holiday and let it digest a little bit. I'm not very good at season-ending emotions. I'm always sort of pretty excited about next pre-season, to be honest. So excited about what's ahead. Disappointed a little bit that we couldn't have made it a bit tighter and a bit, limited the damage a little bit tonight. But overall, cracking 5 months, great journey, great ride, and it was great. So many people came out tonight to sort of celebrate the season that was and to farewell some of our, great Rhinos.
Just picked up in there, Rowan, you mentioned the crowd, nearly 10,000 in here today, which was essentially an exhibition. Must make you so really proud about it. Really shows what the club's all about and how behind the players, collectively, how everyone's together.
Yeah, and just there's a lot of friends in that Kiwis travelling group and that I've known over my time in footy, and that they've all said, you know, we put on a good show here. You know, that's done right, game day done right, and good spectacle, and acknowledging the debutants and all that kind of stuff. It was a great occasion, and there was never any doubt there was going to be a good crowd here tonight. But you know, at the same time, you have to tip your hat that it's you know, our season went a long way, and the World Cup's about to start, and people still come out and watch a game. So thank you to everyone.
Do you know when your squad for next year will be finalised, Rowan? Obviously, we don't know what's happening with Zach and.
Well, the squad will never be finalised. It'll always be a work in progress. There'll be updates when there's updates, but at the moment there's no salary cap room to do anything. So until there is, nothing can happen.
Is that including with Zach? Are you hoping to keep him?
We can't do anything until there's some salary cap room. So currently Zach's uncontracted, and there is no salary cap room to make a move.
It was good to see Adam Cuthbertson in a Leeds shirt against Iron, and I thought he had some brilliant offloads, certainly at the start. Is he a player you'd like to have worked with if you're like 5 years younger and still at the club?
Oh, I've watched Cuthbert's career, like from his Manly days, and then followed and coached against him at various times during my NRL time. He's always been a skillful player, and it was good to see him, you know, a couple of offloads for old time's sake there, and to farewell the crowd. So it was nice to be able to include him for the day.
Is he one of the best offloaders that you've seen?
He'd have to be amongst them for sure. He could probably play a whole game without having to play the ball, I reckon, if he wanted to.
And are you looking forward to the festive challenge? It's on the 27th of December against Wakefield.
I'm looking forward to every day of the pre-season and building up for next Super League season.
Rohan, just quickly, Luke Hale's been on social media, so he's been with the group this week, but couldn't play because of the ban. How good was it to have him in the group, but how disappointed are you that rules have dictated that he couldn't play?
It was one of those weeks where if there was blokes floating around and wanted to have a run around and sort of keep fit, we were happy to invite people in. Luke's been, I think he's been living with Dono recently while he's doing some house renovations or something like that. So when it was suggested that he wanted to come down and have a run around at training, it was welcome.